I was a child, I was the only one in school that didn't have a favorite color. So we went to the doctor and see what was wrong with me. And the doctor found out that the reason why I didn't have a favorite color was because I couldn't see any color. So from that moment, I started to find color a very mysterious subject, because even if you don't see color, you can't ignore that color exists, because it's everywhere. It's Greenpeace, Blue Tag, Bluetooth, Pink Panther, Pink Floyd, Gordon Brown. There's even in surnames. So Yellow Submarine. There's so many places where color is constantly there that I cannot ignore that you see color. So the problem is not that I see in black and white. The problem is that you see color. It's even a bigger problem when you use color as a code. Okay, this is the metro map of Lisbon, which is fine. It's not complicated in grayscale, but if I go to Tokyo, as you saw, it's quite complex. This is Tokyo, so if you see this in grayscale, you can easily get lost. Another thing that happens in black and white is that this. So three different countries share the same flag, which is very beautiful, but you can get very confused. For example, a woman with ginger hair, blue eyes, and dressed in pink. If someone said to me, have you seen a woman with ginger hair, blue eyes, and dressed in pink? I would have to say I have no idea, because I only know that the woman has hair, that she has eyes, and that she's not naked. So I would get really... So that's why I wanted to perceive color, because you keep using color. And then I started a project with Adam Montandon to create something so that I could perceive color. And we created this electronic eye that allows me to hear color. So it was based with a backpack at the beginning, a 5-kilo computer at my back, a webcam and earphones that allow me to hear the colors in front of me by transposing light frequencies to sound. So I literally hear the frequency of red, which is between F and F sharp, and so on. There's a note for each color. Then in 2007, I extended the scale, so I was able to perceive 360 colors, one for each degree of the color wheel, and saturation levels, thanks to Peter Keše from Slovenia. And then in 2010, I stopped using a computer, and I started using a chip. So I lost 5 kilos in one day without going on a diet. It was a big change, and also I included infrared colors and ultraviolet, so that now I can perceive more colors than a human eye, which allows me to know if it's a good day or a bad day to sunbathe or detect infrared. So I started to feel that the software in my brain had united, because I've been using this for 8.5 years constantly, so I feel no difference between software and brain. I feel that the cybernetic device is an extension of my senses, a part of my body, so I feel like a cyborg. I feel that the cybernetics are part of my organism. Cities. I thought that cities were gray. When I couldn't perceive color, everyone said my city is gray. Cities are gray. But since I perceive color, it's completely wrong. I perceive many colors in cities. So I started a project going around cities around the world, trying to detect the dominant color of the city. For example, London is very golden red. Lisbon is light yellow and turquoise. Madrid is amber terracotta. So each city has a dominant color. For example, in Mumbai, I can detect there's a shade of blue that it's a type of celeste blue, and I'm sure there's another one, but I should really scan the city to detect what the dominant color of the city is. What it is not is gray. So gray doesn't really exist in cities. It's really hard to find gray. The other thing is people. I thought that humans were black and white, which is completely false. There is no white skins and there is no black skins. Human skins range from very light shades of orange and very, very dark shades of orange. We are never black or white. This is the human color wheel circle I created in 2009, which varies of different shades of orange. There's orange red or orange yellow, but it's always shades of orange that go from light to dark. And I can also hear faces and compose music by looking at a face. Here's an example of how a face sounds. So that's brown eyes, the sound of brown eyes. here you're adding the sound of lips. I don't hear it so distorted. It's not like so. So you can compose music by looking at someone's face. And then as a result, you have all the notes played together. This is the face of Tommy Hatukangas. So there, you can actually use your face as your own ringtone if you want. Another big change is that music started to become color as well, because I started to hear notes that I related to color, so I started to paint music. These, for example, are the 4 seasons of Vivaldi, each note transposed to color, and each of the square is a season. So also hearing the radio change, because hearing the radio is like a colorful experience, and also listening to electronic music feels like this. So I really enjoy listening to electronic music. This is Sega Bodega's introduction to a piece. So it has changed the way I perceive concerts because it's a colorful experience, and the other way around. I can also hear paintings, so it has changed the way I perceive galleries because I can hear a Picasso, I can hear any painting that is in a gallery. Also the way I dress has changed because now I dress in a way that it sounds good. So here I would be dressed in a C major chord. If we go to the next one, this would be dressed in F major. And the next one would be, here I would be wearing Stravinsky, so I would be wearing a song. Or now, for example, here I have also a C major which goes on. So we are starting a new fashion collection with Mariana Viada in Barcelona, where we'll start creating songs so that people can wear their own songs. So for example, you can go to a funeral wearing a Requiem of Mozart, which will look very colorful but will sound very sad. And if you want to have a very crazy night out, you can wear some Freddie Mercury underpants as well. So 2 years ago, I created the Cyborg Foundation, a foundation that wants to help people extend their senses by applying technology to their body. So we want to help people become cyborgs, we want to defend the rights of cyborgs, and we want to make all technology available and free for everyone. So all the cybernetic extensions that we create are free, and that we explain how they can create these extensions at home. We don't sell electronic eyes, we explain how to create them. And the software is open, and it's free for anyone that wants to develop it further. One of the projects is extending, for example, the sense of movement. So here in the case of Moon Rivas, she has a pair of earrings that vibrate when there's movement in front of her. And depending on the intervals, she knows the exact speed of some movement in front of her. And now she's developing another sensor at the back of her head so that she can detect if there's movement behind her. So she can detect if someone is getting close to her at the back. She also has these cybernetic extensions in her passport, so she can travel freely with her own cybernetic extensions. Another project is having a small miniature camera inside the finger, so you can actually use this camera to detect other things. You could use it to detect color, and it would give you a small vibration depending on the color, or you can use it to other things. Now he is using it to take pictures with his own hand. But we want this to be something more interactive so that he can have some big feedback from the images that the camera receives. We're also creating different eyes for blind people and blind communities to extend other senses. Like we are working with Ecuador to create eyes that can read words so that you can actually, instead of hearing colors, you can hear the words in a book, so you don't need to translate books into Braille anymore. You can use an electronic eye. So I believe we are now starting in the age of cyborgism, which is an age where we'll start using technology as a part of our body. I think we should all have this wish to extend our senses, because if we compare ourselves with other animal species, human senses are not very developed. If we compare ourselves with a dog, the dog can hear and can smell much better than us. Some birds can perceive ultraviolet. Sharks can sharks can perceive electromagnetic fields. Dolphins can hear through the bones. So really, if we compare ourselves with other animals, we can see that we have a lot still to develop. So I think we should not stop creating our own senses. We must think that when we are inside our mother's womb, we start creating our senses. So why should we stop creating our senses when we are outside our mother's womb? We can continue doing this. And I think this is one of the most exciting things that we can do now, because I feel that if I had only human senses, my senses would deteriorate as I grow older. But if you're a cyborg, it happens the opposite. The older you get, the better your senses can become. So I encourage you all to become cyborgs so that we can all look forward to getting old. Thank you.